So to recap today's live stream, in terms of where we're going to be looking for the best opportunities for tomorrow's trading session, we had another continuation to the upside on the dollar and a continuation to the downside on the euro dollar. We had a bigger move on the pound because of the CPI. It came out lower than expected at 1.7 instead of 1.9 and the core at 3.2 instead of 3.4. What this means is that most likely the Bank of England is going to feel more comfortable in cutting rates at a bigger pace. It means that most likely we can have a 0.5% of a rate cut instead of just a 0.25 in the next meeting. And the market may be already pricing in exactly that information. Tomorrow we have, overnight, we have unemployment in Australia, but the main catalyst of the week is going to be the ECB press conference, expecting another 25 basis points, and then we have the press conference from Christine Lagarde. It's going to be interesting to see what she's going to say, because the last time she spoke, it was in a ECB meeting, and actually in the Eurozone meeting, and that was the beginning of the big sell-off that we had on the euro in the beginning of the month. So perhaps we're going to have a shift of direction in here. Again, the euro has been moving to downside since the beginning of the month for now, 16 days since then. Tomorrow we also have the first US news of the week. We have core retail sales, and the unemployment claims is going to be quite important because last week we had a bigger number than expected. And if this number is again surprisingly higher, that can start being a little bit of a concern for the dollar. So in terms of the opportunities, we have, again, dollar moving to the upside. It finally broke that high that we're looking for. And I'm going to be curious to see what's going to happen into the next structure. And we have still been a little bit bullish in here. We potentially looking for shorts, but price has been respecting every single low on the way up. So there's no break. So that's going to be the next level. I'm going to be looking for price to react from this previous level of support resistance into this structure. And perhaps you can find some selling pressure in there, which is the total opposite on the euro dollar. Now that price is getting into that demand zone, and the zone, and that demand zone, that's where I'm going to be looking for longs or some buy pressure on the euro. Pound as well continuing to the downside, breaking lows. So we're going to be paying attention to that one as well. Aussie as well moving to the downside tomorrow with unemployment. Let's see if this low is going to hold price or not. Then looking into the yen pairs, basically yen index is just in this range. We have dollar yen getting really close to the highs. We have all the other yen pairs a little bit more in the middle. So at this point, I'm going to be tracking dollar yen for a potential short if the opportunity appears. Otherwise, I'll just let dollar yen continue to go slightly higher before looking for that short. In terms of the CAD pairs, it just continued to move to the downside as we anticipated 2 days ago. And there's still more room to the downside. So until it gets to the target that we are looking for, I'm not going to be looking for any reversals, or in this case, longs. At the US indices, we have a retracement today. So after yesterday's sell-off, now price is reversing and getting closer to the highs again. I could still see new all-time highs in here on the S&P. Price never really managed to break these lows. So let's see how price may react from here. If it's going to be any kind of PI, look for a short or eventually new all-time highs. Now that you have a little bit of structure, looks like a nice zone to look for liquidity. Nasdaq did manage to break the wall, so there's a little bit more of a bearish signs in here on Nasdaq. I could see Nasdaq filling this price before even aiming to go to the highs or breaking the highs, so that's a nice one. Again, Nasdaq is still respecting those previous highs from July. Dow as well, I'm looking for price to break new all-time highs after this big correction. We did manage to break the low, but first I would like to see new highs being created before price respecting that break. DAX as well is moving a bit in the range. I could still see some selling opportunities at the highs, so that's something that I'll be looking for. Gold respected the all-time highs. Eventually I want to see those all-time highs as well being broken. I think this is just to attract more sellers into it until we eventually have the fake out of all of that structure. Euro pound, it was one that we saw the benefit of trading it when you have a week with news in the UK and then news in the Eurozone without really any news in the US. That's one of the perfect times to trade the euro pound, and we're looking at that demand zone. Perfect reaction this night with this morning with the CPI in the UK. So that was a perfect move to the upside. So if you guys got that one, perfect. And tomorrow again we have the ECB, so it's going to be another opportunity to trade the euro pound. Now this time related more to the euro instead of the pound. So that's something to also pay attention in there. Oil, I'm still waiting for price to get a little bit lower before looking for longs. Price is pausing now, and I want to see a little bit more of structure being created eventually for price to create liquidity and reverse to the upside. So I still want to see oil moving slightly lower before looking for longs, and that's basically it. So Just to summarize, again, euro-dollar and the AUD-euro pairs, I'm looking for price to go slightly lower, especially the euro-dollar into that demand zone, potentially to look for longs, and the dollar index is going to be the opposite of seeing price getting closer to these highs, to this structure here before looking for a short. Indices that price get closer to those highs, and oil that I'm going to be looking for longs if the opportunity appears in there. With that being said, thank you very much, guys. I'll see you tomorrow for another live stream. Subscribe to the channel if you're getting value, and if you want to discuss and analyze the market together and find opportunities. Again, the opportunities that you're looking for, they are playing out. We looked at dollar CAD, perfect sell yesterday, euro pound today. The euro and the dollar pairs, we are looking a little bit more with cautious. We are expecting this compression zone, and price is still not really in the moment of reversing until perhaps tomorrow is going to be the day. Keep an eye on it. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Thank you very much. Obrigado.